are coming to you live from $1 Million Studios. Your boys, Chris Speez,
a.k.a. White Nasty.
And the benchmark of professional wrestling, Mr. Silky Baines.
I did not think of anything for myself.
Well, that's okay. Speez and the Benchmark Show on a Thursday night, January 24th, 2019, the day before Speez's birthday. And look what the wife did to $1 Million Studios.
Yes. I mean, you can't see. You need to duck your head.
I know. I can attack Silky with my unicorn horn. Check this shit out.
First of all, pause. You ain't attacking me with shit. First of all, I want to get that straight. He ain't attacking me with shit, people.
It's good stuff right there.
Yep. So Speez is another year closer to death.
That's exactly right. Thank you for pointing that out. So thank you all for joining us here on Periscope and over on the YouTube. He eyeballs me right off the go.
Okay.
Holy cow.
That was your wife's idea?
What
I apparently fucked that up.
My
bad.
Galore already.
My bad. That's on me.
That is okay. So I'm going to leave it up to you to keep up with the chat there on the Periscope because for some reason it's asking us to log in over here. What's going on with that?
Oh.
Thank you, Mac Diesel, for the Super Hearts and Otis section. We appreciate you guys and everybody who's with us. If you could do us a solid and share the program over there on YouTube.
And no, we are not doing another card break for the third
God dang it.
time in a row.
As soon as freaking Silky,
literally,
as soon as the god dang thing hit, Silky goes, you forgot to change the title again. Oh my God.
Like, literally. I mean, you do all this prep, and the easiest thing
That's what I've been doing the whole time. I know.
And then unfortunately, I still don't have graphics for my top 5.
I know. It's been one of those days, folks. It just has been.
It really is.
Now I can't log into the restream thing, so I can see the chat and keep up with that. It's just been goodness gracious shenanigans. But the shenanigans will end shortly. Actually, they'll probably just magnify when our good pal Mr. Warren Hayes joins us here on the program to preview
the Benchmark and Warren Show.
That's right,
Chris.
the Silky and Warren Show.
No, the Benchmark and Warren Show
with Chris, as it was dubbed a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Oh my God!
I'm looking forward to this. So
I'm sure you are, and I'm sure Warren is as well, and as is our audience. Our third time having Warren here on the program. Look, it's just one of those things. It's like clockwork. Anytime there's an NXT show, we're going to have Warren Hayes on the show because he's the guy, and that's what we do. So it's a beautiful thing. So welcome to all you guys. Glad to have you with us. Before we get to Mr. Warren Hayes and Royal Rumble weekend here, we got to start with a question that is really on everybody's mind here, Silky. When the hell is Colton going to pull his head out of his ass and kick Demi to the curb on fucking The Bachelor? What is he doing here?
The fuck?
It's absolutely insane. I mean, tell me.
Oh my God. Now, you guys see how much shit he gives me when I tell him that my wife's knowledge of wrestling is totally off of Total Divas and Total Bellas.
Yeah.
She watches those religiously. And then he gives me shit.
She watches them religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at least that's wrestling related. Motherfucker, you over here watching The Bachelor?
The Bachelor, and I've said it
Bachelor?
before, it's absolutely criminal that show does not win the Emmy Award for Best Comedy year in and year out because it's absolutely hilarious.
I can't believe you watched that shit.
It's
and
hilarious.
You just admitted it on live air that you watched The Bachelor.
Kick that bitch Demi to the curb, Colton. What the hell are you doing here, buddy?
I don't even know who that bitch is.
She's 23
Why do I
years
care
old.
about this
You
bitch?
know that 23-year-old chick who thinks she's a lot hotter than she is and is really fucking obnoxious and has that fake kind of laugh. That's that chick. That chick is on the program. That's what it is. But bring this over here so I can see the damn chats. Nothing's working properly. Again.
Speez.
Yes.
Bad Speez.
Yes. The Bachelor, everybody. I'm not making you sad, Mac Diesel. I'm turning you on to some good shit here is what I'm doing. It's my birthday, goddammit. We can talk about whatever I want to talk about on the program.
Let's talk about how you're in here with a dick on your top of
That's
your head.
not.
It's clearly.
It is not.
It's a dick.
It is not.
That's what Speez wanted. He said he wanted a dick on top of his head for his birthday.
Are out of control already. And we've barely even started the program.
I mean, it's a geriatric dick, but it's a dick nonetheless.
It is. Stop it. Stop it. Of course, if you want to get in on the phone line shenanigans here tonight, you can give us a call at 832-937-4559.
That's 832-93-SILKY!
832-93-SILKY. Good Lord have mercy. It's just...
You are just all types of not over. I know it's your birthday weekend, but, you know, that's no excuse. Stop pointing your... Stop pointing your hat dick in my face. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
The rumor mill is going crazy, and we're not going to talk a whole hell of a lot about that because we're dedicating this show to Takeover Phoenix. But I did see earlier today that old Dave's at it again. He's got Ronda Rousey taking off after WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, I don't see it happening, honestly. But if it does, I mean, they got a year out of her, good publicity, and I don't see the problem. If she wants to, especially they're saying it's mainly because she wants to start a family.
That's what Dave's saying, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so.
We shall see. Oh, look at all the people here for crying out loud. I apologize, YouTube. Yeah. Again, stuff is not working as I would hope it was. Priscilla Baez, welcome to you. Brooke, always a pleasure. Juanito, Kristen Ashley, first time here at the show. Yeah, guys, if you are not checking, Silky, what are you doing, man? God,
stop! Don't turn the horse stick face to me,
dude. Stop it! You got to deal with it. That's just.
I don't want to. This is bullshit.
Kristen Ashley, bullshit. Everybody.
This shit is too close.
You
got to
check out.
I don't like it.
DivaDirt.com. If you are a fan of women's wrestling and you are not on board with DivaDirt.com, you're missing out because that's some good shit. So check out Kristen over there. She's a blast. Good friend of our buddy Warren Hayes here. And thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I appreciate that, everybody. Everything pro wrestling. I do live videos on wrestling, too, just showing you some love. I appreciate that. Yeah. Everything pro wrestling. And welcome to you, sir. So, 832-937-4559 if you want to get in on the phone lines. If you haven't
832-93-SILKY.
832-93-SILKY. And if you haven't done so already, if you wouldn't mind sharing the the program on
can't work in these conditions.
Periscope and on Twitter. Let's get to our special guest because this is already just.
Can I do my top 5?
Yes.
Top 5?
Okay, we got to do Silky's top 5. Look, I'm trying to get to the part where we eat. Look at this. Look at how kick-ass the wife is. Look at that shit. I even got a unicorn freaking cupcake.
Yes.
I got to light the candle here in a minute. And we got, because the benchmark here is a fan of these iced sugar cookies that you get at the store.
Yes, I am.
Silky's a big fan. So show them your plate, too, so that they don't think that I'm the selfish host. And look at that. Look at that. That's good shit.
That is good shit.
And shout out to you, Smart to Death. Good to know you came just to chat with somebody else. Okay, you're going to have to deal with the wrath of Mrs. Speez there because...
I will tell her I don't like... How would you like this? See, do you like that? Does that bother you?
Well, you already
probably doesn't because
put my right eyeball out with the fucking whatever that thing is earlier. So
put this over here. Yeah, there we go. Now I feel better.
All right, let's get to the benchmark top 5. The benchmark top 5. The benchmark power rankings. Sorry, we got to get the official name down because we got to make our graphics and all that kind of shit too. So the benchmark power rankings, everybody. This is the top 5 wrestlers of the week. The top 5 wrestlers, whether they're WWE, NXT, doesn't matter. The 5 wrestlers that had the best week, according to the benchmark Silky Baines.
That resonated with me.
And you will probably disagree, and that's okay. That's why we're doing this. So
if you do, I don't care.
Silky does not care. Let's get right into it with number 5 benchmark power rankings.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe at number 5. I did see the end of SmackDown. I didn't catch the whole show, but
he murdered Mustafa Ali in the match, and then he came in at the end of the Andrade Ray 2 out of 3 falls match and just totally destroyed both of them before taking the RKO, which I thought was a brilliant shot of just up close him, and then out of nowhere, like it didn't even have time to pan out. I kind of wish they had panned out a little bit more before Randy Orton, like panned out to where you still couldn't see him, but like you knew he hit him with the RKO, but you didn't really see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But other than that, I mean, strong showing for Samoa Joe.
Absolutely. So Samoa Joe, my pick to win the Royal Rumble, if those of you who did not join us on this past Monday's program. So, Samoa Joe at number 5 on the benchmark power rankings. Let's go to number 4.
Collectively, The Bar.
The Bar at number 4 coming in as...
They decimated Shane and Miz.
I was going to say coming in as SmackDown Live Tag Team Champs into their title match against Shane and Miz.
Which almost all but guarantees since they put such a beating on them that they're going to drop these titles. But, I mean, it was a great showing for Sheamus and Miz in the match. And then just a beat down at the end of how they beat down Miz, beat down Shane, and then put Miz on the table. And I thought it was pretty tight, pretty badass when they both basically one under the leg and one under their arm. They just lifted Shane above their heads and threw him down on Miz through the table.
It's pretty good stuff.
It was very strong. They came out looking very strong going into this match.
Tag team champs on SmackDown Live, The Bar at number 4. Number 3 on the Benchmark Power Rankings for the week.
Number 3 would be the man, Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch at number 3.
Still keeping it strong. I like the promo she did. I didn't agree with the fact that Asuka attacked her because I didn't think Charlotte needed to be in there, but I didn't agree with Asuka attacking her. But at the end of the day, she cut a good promo, and then after that, she basically left Asuka laying. So good showing for her.
That works. All right, Becky Lynch, number 3. Number 2 on the Benchmark Power Rankings.
The boss, Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks at number 2. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you may debate it, but the way I look at it is she basically handed Ronda her first loss, albeit in a tag team match, and Ronda wasn't involved in the fall. But normally, every match Ronda's been in, no matter what tag team or what, they win. Her team wins.
This is true.
So it is kind of big that she was able to knock off the team of Ronda and Natalya.
Fair enough.
And to make her tap, and then the strong get in her face, showing that she's not afraid of Ronda Rousey. So they're not afraid, but you could tell there's by their actions and mannerisms that shows that they are a little bit afraid of the pedigree of Ronda Rousey. So the fact that Sasha's showing none of that and is up in Ronda's face, I like that, so she got number 2.
Number 2, and that brings us to number 1 for the second week in a row.
Second week in a row.
On the Benchmark Power Rankings.
Finn Balor. I mean, you saw it, the good showing in the match with Braun, that vicious-ass coup de grace that he hit on Braun.
Which was very nice. We talked about that on the show.
Yeah, it was very nice. Plus, the interactions he had with Brock, he took it to both Brock and Braun in that match. I mean, of course, Brock got the last laugh when he hit him with the F5 after he hit the coup de grace. But other than that, it was a very strong and a very good showing for Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, second week in a row, number 1 on the Benchmark Power Rankings. So to recap, this week, number 5,
Samoa Joe.
Number 4,
The Bar.
Number 3,
The Man.
Number 2,
The Boss.
And number 1, once again, we don't have a "the" for Finn Balor.
Well, I guess the Demon, even though he wasn't really a demon, but it's my thing.
We'll see. The Demon, Finn Balor, number 1 on the Benchmark Power Rankings. Finn, keep him number 1, Silky, says Brooke Jackson. And
spoiler alert, if he wins the title at the Royal Rumble, he will be number 1 next week.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's probably going to be the case. So there you go. There you have it. The Benchmark Power Rankings with new graphics to come soon. And it'll be a regular thing here. So agree, disagree, let us know what you think in the chat or otherwise. I hope so. I'm tired of Bork, says says Kristen. And Priscilla's got Finn Balor winning it, as does our buddy Anthony over at Smart to Death. So
and Silky.
We shall see. Well, now, okay, are you officially taking Finn, or are you just taking Finn if he's the Demon Finn?
No, I'm taking Finn.
You're taking Finn either way.
I'm taking Finn either way because I feel like the build-up and the fact that they use Mr. McMahon, it just too much to... They wouldn't. I don't feel like they would do that just to make him another jobber. They could have just had him win the match and then boom, just advertise every now and then that he's gonna face Brock. But I feel like they're putting a lot of effort into this just to make it seem like no one thinks he can win. And like I say, it's not as etched in stone, but traditionally, the person who's left laying in the go-home show is generally the one that wins the match.
This is true. I hate to break it to you guys and be the voice of reality here, but there's no fucking way that Finn Balor's winning on Sunday. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to say it.
What I see is an opportunity here. So if Finn Balor wins, you will too-sweet me.
I'm not going to too-sweet you just for a Finn Balor win.
You should too-sweet me because you said there is no fucking way, right? So you should be fucking confident that you won't have to do it.
No.
That's why
it's not gonna happen.
You see what type of piece of shit person that he is.
That's my birthday show, and you see what type of piece of shit person he is. Silky, you're getting my hopes up, says No Effects fan. And Olive, whose name I forget, I apologize, but I see your handle here, and I always say your name even though it's not Olive. Unfortunately, Finn has to win, says Jeffrey Cross. We'll see. We shall see. Welcome to you, Kyle, and to everybody else. We appreciate you guys being with us. I'm not too sweet. It's fucking ridiculous, especially on my birthday. Damn it, we're not having any of that shit. Look, we've neglected our guests for far too long. Can we get to it? Can we get to our special guest, please?
Let's get to. Wait, shouldn't we be throwing it to you? Because this is the Warren and the Benchmark and Warren show with Chris. So I'd like to give an intro.
On that note,
can I introduce
let's see some of the my one job, some of the fancy graphics that I do here on the program. Wait for it. Here it goes. Bam! There he is, kids. Take it away, Silky.
Right now, we have the distinguished, the great, the man, Warren Hayes on the show.
I get human jar of mayonnaise.
Yes.
You get that shit, Warren Hayes. How about that, buddy?
Listen. We know who the draw is.
Yes.
They're clearly, and it is not. It's not sitting on this side of the fucking Skype call. I'll tell you that much.
Chris, happy birthday!
Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday in advance. You look. You're gonna glow in in your 30s, man. It's gonna be amazing.
See, Warren knows what's up.
And 30s,
you gotta throw him a bone once in a while.
I guess so. I mean. 1 year closer to AARP.
Tara, thank you. Tara, it is Tara. I apologize for that. And Kristen says, "Oh my God, birthdays stop mattering after like 25." Well, I'm just barely past 25, Kristen, so I'm still used to it. Shout out to you, Pinfall Victory. Good to have you on the YouTubes. What's going on, Warren Hayes? How the hell are you, man?
Man, it's a WWE pay-per-view weekend, one of the big shows. So we got the Takeover. So I am busy. I've been podcasting every day this week over on my own channel at youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. I, do the usual recaps. I just came out of a great, fantastic show with Anthony Suter of Smart to Death. We did Royal Rumble predictions. And of course, I hang out sometimes over at Fightful.com, FightfulSelect.com, where I do weekly 205 Live NXT UK recap shows. So that's always a lot of fun. And man, I'm super busy. And if you don't mind, if I take another a little moment to plug as well, a little something here. I'm glad that Kristen's in the chat.
Yes.
I didn't know she was going to show up tonight, but Kristen actually started a women's wrestling podcast over on Fightful called The Division.
All right.
It's exclusively a talk about women's wrestling news. It happens every 2 weeks. I was part of the first panel, the first show 2 weeks ago with Joe Soriano of the Daily DDT.
Yes.
And she's great. She's allowed me to bask in her glory once more. This weekend, we're going to be recording another episode along with Laura Morrow, who is a contributor over at Diva Dirt and the Daily DDT as well. So there's going to be another episode. It's going to come out this weekend. And I'm really looking forward to that because it's a great show and it's different. It's fun. Kristen does a great job. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Hey, and like I said, if you're not on board with Diva Dirt and you're a fan of women's wrestling, what the hell are you waiting for? You got to get on board with that. So, all right, Warren, let's get right into it, sir. Before we get to the NXT card itself, one of the things fans like to do is speculate about who's going to show up at the Royal Rumble. We've got 20 out of the 30 men already spoken for. And so that leaves 10 spots that could potentially be NXT guys, could be guys returning, could be guys coming back from injury, so on and so forth. You being our special NXT correspondent, all these people saying how great Warren is. Like, we don't know how great Warren is. Warren's a regular here on the program. He's always here for NXT. So let's get the speculation kicking right here, Warren Hayes. Who do you have coming up from NXT to make an appearance at the Royal Rumble this weekend?
I think that Velveteen Dream is a shoo-in as far as the surprise goes. And it's not even that much of a surprise. They're doing that Worlds Collide tournament this weekend at the Access event. We've barely heard about it, but it's still happening. We're at 205 Live NXT and NXT UK are having like this tournament for brand supremacy, right? And they're bringing Velveteen Dream in for this. Dream isn't on the Phoenix card. He's not on TakeOver.
Right.
They're not bringing him in for nothing.
I totally
You know what
agree.
I mean?
Couldn't agree more. He was a guy, Silky and I, we both picked two guys. I had Dream and Adam Cole as shoo-ins, and Silky had Adam Cole and Ricochet. And so those are the few names. Of course, we saw Adam Cole there last year as well. So Velveteen Dream, I agree with you. I think he's a shoo-in.
Yeah, I think so.
anybody else that you see from the NXT roster that's going to show up at the Royal Rumble?
Well, there's a lot of speculation that Alistair Black's time in NXT is up, and I think it would make sense for him to be called up because right now, well, okay, as a surprise, I think it'll happen, but I think there's a good chance it'll happen. I think that he's also very, very much main roster bound more than before because of the Lars Sullivan situation where Lars has disappeared. He's not. He had his anxiety attack, and he's fallen off the map. Even Triple H this week in the media call said, "Well, the situation hasn't changed, and we have to move forward." So there's an opening.
Yeah.
That Alistair Black could definitely fill in, and I think they're flying Pete Dunne in from the UK. You got
Pete Dunne as well. Wow.
Yeah. I think you bring in your longest tenured modern day champion. You add a little more buzz coming off of Takeover Blackpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you send Pete Dunne in there. You have him beat up a couple of bastards, toss a dude or two over, snap some fingers.
Yeah,
I think he put him in the Final Four. There you go.
No, Pete Dunne is great. Pete Dunne is great. And Lit Mantis is upset because he's saying we're spoiling his Royal Rumble. Lit Mantis actually going to be at the show. Lucky bastard that he is.
What?
Yeah, going to be at the show. So looking forward to that. Velveteen Dream is marked for greatness, says Pinfall Victory. And a lot of people agree with you on Alistair Black. It seems like he's another one that folks like showing up that way. Yay, Pete Dunne, says Sasha Reigns, and Priscilla Baez, a fan as well. And yes, Alistair Fiend, it's my birthday tomorrow, as a matter of fact, for those of you joining us late. And all I want for my birthday is for you guys to share the program over on Twitter and Periscope. And get a bunch of people in here to join us. And thank you for the Super Hearts, Lid Mantis. What do you think, Silky? Any take on Alistair Black or Pete Dunne, or you like those picks as well?
I like the picks for the Rumble. I don't per se like the call-up of Alistair Black right now.
You don't think it's ready? He's ready yet?
No,
not that he's not ready, but
he's 100% ready.
Not going to happen yet.
I feel like with a call-up like that, there needs to be more thought put into it and then a backup because one of the guys you've been pushing, which that's another thing, all of those 6 people they were pushing for the NXT call-ups will be in their respective Rumbles. I'm almost positive.
That's
with
fair.
the exception, obviously, now of Lars Sullivan. But don't be EC3 will probably be in the Rumble. Heavy Machinery, or at least one of them.
Otis is sure as hell going to be
God,
there.
I hope not. And
He's so great. What's up, Smart Spot? Good to see you guys.
And he'll be in the Rumble. Cross has already been Cross is in the Rumble. Lacey Evans just announced last week that she was in the Rumble.
Yes.
So that's I feel like for them to bring Alistair up like now with no real build to it, like that's with his gimmick, it just screams for you need some vignettes of like how they brought him into NXT, how it was like kind of mystifying. So I say maybe he loses and takes some time, like a month or so off, to just, we can't miss you if you don't go away.
Exactly.
And then you start running these ominous promos without, give fans time to forget about him, so that when you start running these ominous promos and then it's time for the debut, boom, it's like a huge reaction.
It's go time.
I feel like it's wasted if they just bring him up now just because Lars Sullivan. Like, there's several other guys that aren't, not to sound rude, but there's several other guys that I think if you're just going to bring them up just because Lars is out, there's other lower level people that you could do that to.
That's fair. That's fair. And we love Lars Sullivan. We love Alistair Black's intro. That's one of the coolest things. That was one of the things we were talking about this week. Like, let him have his first show. You going to eat the cookie during the show?
Let him eat the cookie during the
Like I said,
show,
we're all going to eat the damn cookie right now. So, Warren, tell us about the main event, NXT Takeover Phoenix. What do you think, buddy? How do you like it?
The main event, Ciampa and Alistair Black. Yeah, I'm digging that. I'm all for that.
That's the one I was talking about, yes.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting because, this is something that we should have got last year. We were angling towards that before Alistair got injured. So this is something that's been brewing for a while, and I think the extra percolation.
Did you just say percolation on the show?
I said percolation on your show.
I always got to have the dictionary ready when Warren comes on the show. Anyway, Continue with your percolation.
I'll percolate all over your show.
Stop sticking your dickhead in my face, man.
But no, I think the extras, the longer burn to the match, that we didn't quite get the blow off earlier in August. I think it served this feud because Ciampa winning was a bit of a it came out of nowhere because of Johnny Gargano. Now feels like it was a nice proper build up. These are two guys who are absolutely spectacular. We're talking about Alistair Black being ready for main roster. He's been ready for main for a while. But Tommaso Ciampa, man, this is a guy who will spin gold regardless of the amount of shit you give him.
He's great.
He's fantastic.
He's great.
I almost don't
so you're gonna
want
put these two
Ciampa.
guys together, expert storytellers, expert in-ring storytellers. It's going to be great. Yeah,
it is going to be great. Before we get to your comments, Silky, Matt just wants to know if you're in any way related to Michael P.S. Hayes, Warren Hayes.
Oh, listen, I'm not supposed to discuss that.
Well, we tried, man. We tried. Go ahead. Silky, you were going to say you're not sure you want to Ciampa up on the main roster yet.
Just because he's been doing so well on NXT, and traditionally, they ruin him once they go up. So
yeah,
I'd almost rather him stay. Like, I think his gimmick is more suited there where he's got the monster heat. I think he stays there and plays his part. He can always be in main event even after he loses the title. But I feel like he'll be ruined on the main roster. Now, Alistair Black, because his gimmick is so different, that's a main roster gimmick. Tommaso Ciampa's I don't see more as a main roster gimmick. He's a main roster level talent, but I don't think his gimmick works as well on the main roster.
I completely agree, and don't get me wrong, if it were up to me, I'd leave all my NXT boys and girls right there in NXT and have long, fulfilling careers there without ever putting them in the slippery, slimy, squid-like fingers of Vince McMahon. I'm entirely, just because I'm saying, oh, he's main roster ready, oh, he'd be good there as well, doesn't necessarily mean I want them up there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And a lot of people are wanting to see a heel DIY reunion. Maybe, you never know. We'll see how it plays out. Thank you, Get the Tables, for the Super Hearts there. We appreciate that. And welcome to Sports and Things shows. One of the ones mentioned the DIY reunion there. So let's get to the pick itself, Warren. Do you have Ciampa retaining here, or Alistair Black enacting some revenge and getting the victory here? Alistair Black, if I'm not mistaken, still undefeated on NXT takeovers, I believe. So it would be quite the big deal if he actually lost. Warren,
I don't think it's a big deal.
Well, okay. I'm trying to build it up here, Silky.
No,
that's
I'm
one
just
of the things
saying,
we
like,
do on the program
that's
here.
one of my, and you just stumbled upon one of my pet peeves. Like, they try to bring these obscure stats to make it seem like once you lose, like when he finally got pinned, when Gargano pinned him in that four-way match, all of that went away. Like, then I feel like you're grasping at straws. Well, he's never been pinned one-on-one. He's never been pinned in a tag team match. He's never been pinned. Where does it fucking
they're
stop?
trying to sell me on the fact that Finn Balor can beat Brock Lesnar, for crying out loud. I can try to sell the people.
No, and that's
on
but the
Alistair
thing. If
Black
you look at the
undefeated.
build of that,
I'll be over here.
if you look at the build, they're selling you on the fact that Finn Balor has no fucking shot of winning this match.
Yeah, but they're doing that so that you'll go, oh, yeah, I need to watch this because if he does it, it'll be amazing. But anyway, Warren, let's get back to that thing where we actually let you do your pick. What do you say, Ciampa or Alistair Black? Who you got?
My heart says Alistair because I'm an Alistair fan, but it just makes complete sense to keep the title on Ciampa. There's just so much good out of him to be put in a position where he has to be chased. And I agree with you, Silky. When you were talking about Alistair being called up a few minutes ago, when you were saying, bring him in with some vignettes, have a proper build-up. Never mind the Lars Sullivan thing. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Silky loves it when you tell him that he's right.
Have Alistair disappear off TV for a while. No longer in NXT. Next thing you know, he gets. They start doing incantations on Raw or something.
Yes.
And he rises up or something like that. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Looks like a lot of people got Ciampa winning this thing. Sports and Things got Ciampa Raven's Blood, Priscilla Baez, all of them got Ciampa. Looks like Brooke is the only one.
By the way, it's John Baez. John's a fan, and he uses his wife's account.
Well, thank you for pointing that out, John Baez, newcomer to the chat here. I will stop calling you by your wife's name, sir. So thank you, John. Credence Guild, welcome to you. The champ keeps Goldie, says. We'll see. Look at these three audio nerds with their real mics and real headphones, says Kristen. Kristen's a sassy one.
I know.
You're welcome here anytime, ma'am, with that sassiness. And if you want to get in, Kristen, you give us a call here, 832-937-4559 on the phone lines.
Or so you can remember it, 832-93-SILKY.
832-93-SILKY if you guys want to get in on the phone lines.
Depending on how you look. 832-93-SILKY.
Oh, that's kind of
up?
disgusting.
That's my speed right there.
There you go. All right, let's move on to the North American Championship match. My man, Ricochet, future WWE champion Ricochet.
Of 205 Live.
It's not 205 Live. It's Silky rocking the Ricochet shirt tonight. Ricochet defending the North American Championship against Johnny Gargano. Give us the lowdown on this one, Warren. Another shot for Johnny Gargano at a huge name there on the NXT roster. How do you see this one playing out?
This is the match of the evening where I don't care about the outcome, because this is going to be the match of the night, the weekend. We're going to get an early contender for match of the year. I mean, this is going to be absolutely fantastic. You have two phenomenal workers who are going to go at each other. Johnny Gargano is arguably, there's a solid argument to be made in regards to him being the best worker in the entire company, not just NXT, in all of WWE. He has had nothing but phenomenal matches throughout 2018. We're back starting a brand new year, and he's put into a position with someone that can work his style, that can follow his speed, his innovation at the same time. In Ricochet, they're going to brew one hell of a potion. Like, this is one where there's all you're going to be doing is watching this match, sitting back, and you're just going to moan the whole time because because it's going to be ecstasy to watch.
Yeah, I love both of these guys, and I'm on record as being a huge Ricochet fan. Like Juanito's favorite, The Rock. I've dubbed him a future WWE champion. I love the guy. I think he's great. I think he's completely underrated in terms of how much he sells. I mean, that guy sells his ass off and makes other people look so good. And it's like you said, Warren, it's not like Johnny Gargano needs a whole lot of help looking good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, Silky, that can beat this one? Because a lot of folks are saying it here in the chat. Sports Night Show says it's going to be match of the night. Get the tables. Ricochet's the only match I'm really looking forward to at the Takeover show. Is this one your match of the night? Do you see this one stealing the show?
I see it. Like, it's 1 and 1A. Like, I feel like this match will be better just because Ricochet and Gargano's athleticism, storytelling is just up there. But don't sleep on Ciampa and Gargano. I mean, Ciampa and Black.
Alistair Black.
So I think those are obviously the two best matches. I think both of them can come out of this weekend with match of the weekend. And, like, if one had it and the other one didn't, I wouldn't be surprised. So, but in my personal pick, I think this is it. And I think this is the match of the night. And like Warren said, match of the weekend most likely. And I'm calling Gargano for the win. I'm actually liking the idea of the heel DIY and having Gargano come in and cost Alistair Black the match and end the show with both of them holding the titles.
Yeah, it would be a hell of a thing. And Smart just got them as match of the night for sure. Cretans Guild says, I hate to be the match that follows that one. Yeah, it's not going to be not going to be a lot of fun.
The only way you could possibly follow that is maybe with Black and
Ciampa. Usually they open the show with, like, when we went to NXT New Orleans, my son and I, and they opened with that insane. No, they had the tag team match, but then they had the ladder match right after that, and then they put the women's title after that.
I think they opened with the ladder match.
Was it open? Well, whatever it was,
but
it was
the women. Open with the
women came right after, and me and my son looked at each other like going, "Oh man, this is a tough. That's a tough spot for the ladies to be in."
I've been in that situation too, and there's nothing worse than when you're ready. You're pretty confident in the match you're about to do, and then you're watching the match go on before and how they're killing it, and then there's that shred like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fuck. God damn it. Now I got to go out there and shoot myself in the leg just to get the reaction you guys were getting. It's fucking horrible. But
I've got Gargano. I'm with Silky here. I think Gargano wins this one. Warren, you on board with us on that one?
I am entirely for evil DIY. Dark it yourself. The D is going to stand for dark now.
That'll work. That'll work. Hey, listen to Kristen. After I gave her, she's saying she lets her sass flag fly, which I love that. But she says, Warren is so smiley tonight. He must really love being on this show. See, Silky?
Yeah.
But I do. It's always a blast being with you guys. You know I love you.
We enjoy having you. Warren is always very happy on this show. Speez and Silky make you laugh as a guest for sure. That's because Silky starts picking on me about something or other, and
so
now
you
I
sound
have
like a fucking
I
kid.
have retaliation.
It's your birthday. God damn it. Stop sticking your dick.
I can
in my
finally
face. Stop
get
it.
back at him. 832-937.
Stop sticking your head dick in my face, man.
4559. Speaking of the ladies, let's get to the ladies' title match. We've got Shayna Baszler, who was my pick as the most improved wrestler of 2018. I thought she was spectacular. I mean, she has come so far.
She is what Ronda Rousey should have been.
Absolutely.
Like the time they put into building her up, that's what they should have done with Ronda, but they wanted the cash grab and the notoriety, so boom, now we get Ronda on the main roster.
Exactly. And before we move on to that, let's just get real quickly to these. Bob Ruski feels like Gargano could be Ricochet's Osprey in NXT. Yeah. And Chris Rucker's sick of Gargano already. I don't know. I kind of like
it. The heel turn is doing him good.
Yeah, it's definitely doing him good. Let's get on to the ladies here. So Shayna Baszler defending the NXT Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, of course, won the Fatal 4-Way to get that #1 spot. Am I remembering that correctly?
You are correct.
Beating over Io Shirai and the others there. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to remember.
Lacey Evans and Mia Yim.
I knew it was Lacey Evans, and then I was like, no, I've seen Lacey Evans too soon on the main roster. I didn't realize that match happened so far ago. Belair, Shayna is boring as fuck, says Brooks. She's ready to be done with Shayna Baszler. I like Shayna Baszler.
Me too. I actually think she is the one bright spot in that NXT Women's Division.
Yeah, she's great. And Silky and I kind of lamented the state of the NXT Women's Division, not necessarily because there are poor wrestlers there, but just in the way that they've built up that roster, especially after Asuka left and Ember Moon left. It sort of felt like it was, almost like the leftovers. And it's crazy to say that about such a talented group of women. But at the same time, do you get that same sense, Warren, or are we just undervaluing what WWE is doing with that division?
It's weird that they haven't been able to really fill the void since Asuka's been gone. Ember left shortly thereafter as well. Her title reign didn't last all that long. She was a couple of months in. She was gone as well. And like you said, it's not a thing that there's no talent depth. Jesus Christ. They have Candice LeRae, Deonna Purrazzo, Mia Yim, Io Shirai. Let's not forget Kairi Sane is still there. I mean, these are spectacular women. Bianca, but she's getting a push. But if we're talking about women who are underused right now, it boggles my mind that they're not that the division isn't as compelling as it was back when, it was Bayley and Sasha's stomping ground. It's so strange that they haven't been able to properly build a true to form division, because last year, outside of Shayna Baszler, who was the story of the year as far as the women's division in NXT went, they didn't build anyone else up. She feuded against Nikki Cross for like the one takeover. Then her main feud was with Kairi Sane, who both had been built up months previously. And in the meantime, they're not elevating the women that we're not seeing. It is look, I'm a Candice LeRae guy. I don't understand how she's still being relegated to being Johnny Gargano's wife.
Exactly.
Exactly. Blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, like Warren's touching on, is that they should have, they spent time building up Bayley, building up Sasha, Charlotte, Asuka, Ember Moon. Like, Ember was supposed, in my opinion, I thought Ember was going to be that bridge once Asuka leaves. She was going to be that next thing, the next thing that spearheads that division. And then they sent her up.
She was gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you send this mass exodus, and it's almost like, oh shit, we forgot. We didn't build none of these women up. Like,
yeah. Well, and
like
exactly.
Then you're left with like Shayna, which, I mean, again, Shayna has done, like, I honestly didn't care about her winning the NXT title. I mean, or the Women's Championship. I love the way they did it and stuff, but I didn't think she was winning that match because I wasn't invested in that feud.
Right.
And because I didn't think they didn't build her up as legitimate, not like a legitimate competitor, but like this could be the next person. I mean, in every match you have, there's build up where, in every title match, I should say, where there's that air of this is the next person. Right. That's why they're getting this match.
Right.
And with Shayna, it was like, okay, she wrestled Shayna on a couple of NXTs, and then they go to the pay-per-view, and then Shayna wins, and you're like, oh, shit. Like, that was very underwhelming how they did that.
Well, and I wonder, and Warren, I'm curious to hear your take on this. Is it just because Bobaruski said this in the chat over on Periscope, you know, he's saying NXT is not what it used to be, let's be honest. And I think perhaps, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Bobaruski, but when you look at, we've been so spoiled by how good NXT has been in the past. And you mentioned Bayley in particular. By the time Bayley took that title off of Sasha, that place exploded. Exactly. We were all ready for Bayley. I mean, I put it up there as the women's equivalent of Omega beating Okada over in New Japan. I mean, that's how good that build was. It was so well done. So is this just a case of we're just spoiled because NXT has done such a good job in the past? Or is it a legitimate argument that maybe they need to step their game up when it comes to the women's division?
When it comes to the women's division, absolutely. I think they're doing what you're talking about here. They're doing that kind of work with the men. I think that's what they're doing with the guys is still pristine. We're still being spoiled, and it's fantastic. It's really a shame that the stomping grounds for the true beginning of the women's evolution has dropped down, because it really has. And again, it's not a question that they don't have the talent. It's for some reason they're just not giving the women the spot that they deserve. Or at least it's always, don't get me wrong, Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane was a feud that surprised me in how, not only how long they drew it up, but how entertaining it was. You know, Kairi getting the title, Shayna getting it back. It was a lot of fun. And they had great matches together. But then again, you want to see other women do stuff around them as well. It's weird.
It's just almost, to me, like, it's almost like they feel like that's the only one she can have a great match with is Kairi, so they keep going to that well. Yeah. Which I think hurts Baszler as a champion, because it doesn't really bring forth that respect. You respect Seth Rollins not because they tell you he's the champion, it's because he goes out there and he puts over damn good matches with anyone you put him in the ring with. But with her, it's like there's no build to any of these matches, really. Yeah. I mean, I could care less, honestly, about this match. I'm calling Shayna wins, but I could care less about this match just because it takes more than winning a four-way one match to get this title shot. I mean, you have to have, the reason it works with Finn is because there's that groundswell of support, and they started slowly. If you look back now in hindsight, they've slowly been building him the winning more, so that it was still a surprise. But if you actually look at it, it's like, it should have been. He's been winning for quite a bit on Raw.
Yeah, exactly.
And the idea of groundswell of support is super important, because let's not forget one thing. Right up until this feud, Bianca Belair was a heel.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. So yeah, it's hopefully this is the start of things changing, and hopefully these women stick around a little bit longer, because, you know, as people have said here in the chat, that was part of what made Bayley and Sasha so great is that they had so much time to build to that feud. Silky's got Shayna retaining. Go ahead, Warren. I didn't want to step on you there. Go ahead, sir.
No, that's fine. I was going to lead in with my prediction. Basically, it's like the cool thing here is that Shayna has turned into the incredible machine that she is today. Bianca Belair, she is part of the future of women's wrestling in WWE. She's going to carry her load as things go forward. There are no damsels in distress in this situation. Like, both are going to work really hard to give a great match. I think we might actually be surprised if Bianca is let loose. I think we will be in for a surprise. I think Shayna retains, but I think this feud continues.
I've actually got Bianca Belair winning this one, and not necessarily. For looking at it from a fan perspective, I would probably say Shayna Baszler, but I'm not so sure. Shayna's not main roster ready. I mean, man, she's just come so far. She really has been impressive.
But I mean, if they were smart, they wouldn't just until they build up. Because right now, Bianca, I think it's going to take more than this match. Like, it's going to take having a great showing in this match, in defeat, and then having some good wins on NXT TV against some high-level quality people. Like, even bring some of the older ones, obviously not your Sasha and Rondas, but bring some of the other women back down to wrestle her and then put her over and then go to another takeover and then have her take the title, because then it's going to mean something. Because right now, if Shayna drops the belt, no one's going to say, oh, I believed in Bianca. They're just going to be like, oh, she's dropping the belt because she's going to the main roster.
Exactly.
And that's what you don't want. You want the fans to believe in the person winning more than just to know they're winning because the other person's headed for greener pastures.
There you go.
Yep.
And Sports and Things has got Shayna dropping the belt to Bianca. Sasha Reigns got Bianca winning as well. And got Baszler moving up and teaming up with Ronda soon. So we shall see. We'll see how it plays out. Let's get to the tag team titles.
Yeah.
The War Raiders.
God, I hate that name.
It's so
War
Machine, for God's sake. War Machine. War Machine taking on the champs, Undisputed Era. Are folks tiring of Undisputed Era yet, or are they still as hot as they ever were? It seems like nobody's really getting sick of them. Everybody seems to dig Undisputed Era. You would think War Machine coming in, and this has actually had a pretty decent build. I wouldn't be surprised to see War Machine winning, but at the same time, when you're talking NXT, it doesn't get much hotter than what the guys in Undisputed Era are doing. Would you agree?
Listen, that's why people aren't getting sick of them, because they've been the definition of tag team wrestling. I would argue in pretty much all of 2018, all promotions everywhere. They have had nothing but spectacular matches with everyone they were put up against. Lorcan and Birch, Mustache Mountain, those matches, and arguably Mustache Mountain, their match that they had on NXT TV when they regained the titles, is one of my favorite matches of 2018. That was incredible. No, I don't think we're fed up of Undisputed Era at all. Because they keep cranking out these great matches.
Yeah, everybody agrees. Everybody's still digging the hell out of Undisputed Era. I always just wonder about these things. I don't get to watch a lot of NXT during the week. Wednesdays are end up being kind of busy for me. So, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see that they've maintained that over this time, because WWE crowd is fickle, shall we say. But everybody's loving Undisputed Era. Let's talk about the War Raiders a little bit. These guys came in with a lot of pedigree. I mean, these aren't just some guys they pulled in off the street. I mean, War Machine was a hell of a tag team. They still are a hell of a tag team. It's a great matchup, but this seems to me like the start of a feud rather than the end of one. Do you think this is the last time we'll see these two together, or do you see this as the start of a longer feud between the two?
I'm going to use an analogy.
Well, that's a word I know, so that's good. I don't have to look that one up, so continue.
I know you guys, around $1 Million Studios over in Texas, you don't have to deal with snow, right? But let's say, you get like a 6 to 7 inches of snow that fall on your yard, and you're like, well, and in your driveway, you say, well, okay, well, I have to go out and shovel. Well, if you just take your shovel and you shovel off the snow just like the walkway to the sidewalk. You shovel around your mailbox and you leave it there. Well, okay, you have this, you have the walkway to come in and out of your house to get your mail, but your car is still covered in snow. Now, where I'm getting with this is simple. That's what they're doing with the War Raiders right now. We know the War Raiders are fantastic. They are an excellent tag team. But technically speaking, their first big match was at War Games, and now they're already putting them into the big match. So it really feels like, okay, we need to get to the sidewalk as quickly as possible, but all of this is still covered in snow. But we don't care. It's not about the whole picture. It's just about getting from point A to point B really quickly.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you there.
Okay.
That's
really long way to get there, but okay.
We're picking on you, man. We're picking on. Okay, well, Bobaruski brings up a good point, though. So what is there another tag team down there that's a legitimate contender for those titles besides the War Raiders right now? Who would you say, Silky? Is there anybody? I mean, we've already seen Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. We've seen
Mustache Mountain.
We've seen Mustache
now
Mountain.
They've gone to the UK. They're going to be more fighting for those UK titles.
So are we talking about the same kind of scenario here as we were with the women, where there just hasn't been a lot of build when it comes to other NXT tag teams?
I can't honestly think of any other teams besides the War Raiders and Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I mean,
yep.
I guess it makes sense. Maybe that's why I'm hoping, I mean, I asked it earlier, but I'm kind of hoping that this is the start of something bigger, that we don't necessarily see a title change here. And even if we do, let's let these guys get at each other more than just this one takeover and build this feud up while we also build up a few other tag teams.
Street Profits.
Street Profits. What are we talking about?
Street Profits.
The tables, they would bring up Street Profits.
And you have the Forgotten Sons, Sanity Jr.
Yeah.
There you go. So, all right then. Well, let's get to our picks here. Who do you got going over here? Undisputed Era or the War Raiders?
I'm just gonna play favoritism and go with the people I actually know. So I'm gonna go War Raiders.
Silky got a name drop and talk about how he knows Ray Rowe and the gang. I'm going Undisputed Era. I think they retain. Warren, who you got in this one?
The Era retain. And let's not forget just one thing. I mean, there is hope for the tag team division because the Dusty Classic is coming up, right? That's going to be coming up very, very soon. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to start building to that, and you can see they're starting to position their tag teams. They have, the Street Profits. They have the Forgotten Sons. They've brought in Fabian Aichner and Marcel Bartel from NXT UK, which are fantastic. So they're going to establish them as a credible threat as well. So the Dusty Classic is going to mishmash all of this. And I think War Raiders are going to win the Dusty Classic. They're going to beat the Undisputed Era, but after winning the Dusty Classic.
After winning the Dusty Classic. So you've got Undisputed Era this weekend.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Last but not least, let's get to the final match of the night. We've got Matt Riddle taking on Cassius Ohno. Again, I believe their third meeting here. Everybody's picking Undisputed Era, by the way. I don't mean to ignore the comments there, but folks seem to like the idea of the Street Profits jumping in and getting a shot there. So we'll see how that plays out. Matt Riddle against Cassius Ohno. I think this was a perfect spot for Matt Riddle, or a perfect feud for Matt Riddle to debut. Cassius Ohno is just so great at that. I mean, he's such a great worker. He knows how to make these guys shine that he's in the ring with. So third matchup between them. Of course, we had the super quick squash the first time that they got together. This feud is kind of kept ongoing. Hopefully we see more from Matt Riddle this weekend. I anticipate that we will. But what do you think about Riddle and Cassius Ohno Part 3?
Now, this is fantastic. I mean, you couldn't have had a better entry feud for Matt Riddle, and for a couple of reasons. First of all, they have hard slappity slapping styles, first and foremost. And one thing that I don't think gets put over enough is the fact that Cassius Ohno, he's been around the block more than a couple of times, and one of the reasons he was brought back after his hiatus a couple of years ago from NXT was to act more like a trainer, like a locker room veteran, to help people really get into the WWE style. And as great as Riddle is, and as fantastic and a star franchise player that he is, putting him in his first feud with Matt Riddle will help guide him into how WWE operates, makes their own stuff happen. It's a perfect match for a bunch of reasons. And plus, two guys who have great character work and who can tell stories. Yeah,
Bob Ariski says, for fuck's sake, Ono needs a win, for crying out loud. He must have the worst win-loss record in NXT history. But it's one of those things where I think there's still so much respect for that guy.
Yeah.
Again, just because what he does for all these guys. Yeah, Slappity Slap Styles is great. Yeah, Kristen, one of the few people that I've seen that flat out says that she fucking hates Matt Riddle. Seems like
I'm not a big fan of his, I'm not a big fan of the promo and the slacker. It's not the fucking
the
90s.
Slacker bro thing.
Yeah, it's not the fucking 90s. He's like a character straight off of what was that movie with the record company?
Oh,
Empire Records.
Empire Records. There
He's he straight came from that fucking movie, or Dazed and Fucking Confused.
There you go. That's probably a better one.
Yeah, so I just don't dig that. I mean, his style is great and stuff. It's just, I just don't dig his character at all.
Yeah,
but as far as the match goes, I think, of course, Cassius could have a match with your fucking dick hat and still make it look good.
Exactly.
So,
I think Matt Riddle wins this one.
Yeah. You don't sign Matt Riddle, put him on this big of a stage and not give him the win.
I totally agree. You agree with us there on that one, Warren?
Absolutely, and they're going to have time, and it's going to be great.
Brescinet, welcome to you. Let him have a small taste of the main roster for Ono. Oh, sorry, that's some fucking porn bot in here. That's Bob Aruski. Let him get a small taste of the main roster for Ono. I think he's earned it. Yeah, that's a guy I totally wouldn't mind seeing showing up at the Rumble or something like that. That'd be great. Matt Riddle doesn't wear ring boots. I don't like that, says Raven's Blood. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
doesn't wear any boots.
Yeah, exactly. All right, folks. Well, that's it. Our NXT Takeover Phoenix preview with our good buddy, Mr. Warren Hayes. Should be a great show. Saturday night, I will be out of town with the missus because it's my birthday tomorrow. My wife's birthday is on Saturday. Oh. So, Warren, I get approximately a couple hours to enjoy my birthday before we start talking about my wife's birthday, which is fine. It's good. So, we'll be out of town, but we will be back in time for the Royal Rumble on Sunday. Yeah, Silky's going to be at Ring of Honor. Going to be attending that show, the one here in Houston and the one in San Antonio. So, Warren, it's always a pleasure, sir. Not only do you come here to the show, but you bring your people with you. All these folks in the YouTube chat, welcome to all of you.
Yes.
Come join us more often. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We sure enjoyed having you.
Yeah,
and before we get you out of here, Warren Hayes, tell the folks where they can see more of your content and catch up with what it is you're doing one last time before we say goodnight.
Yeah, for sure. And if this is the first time that you did drop in to watch to watch Silky and Chris here tonight, do subscribe, sign up, and get all the notifications you need when they do their shows. These guys are fantastic. They have the most fan-friendly podcast out there. You guys have to continue following them. As for what's coming up, well, you can follow me on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. I have I'm doing my own NXT Takeover prediction show tomorrow with C. Danny Mac of the Undisputed Future podcast. Then Saturday, if you want to hop on over to Fightful.com, I'll be in the post show, the NXT Takeover post show, along with Shana Ross Sapp and Alex Pulowski. And then on Sunday, Smart to Death has invited me for their post show after the Royal Rumble. So, man,
Jesus,
I mean,
this guy's
and
just
then,
freaking
and then we're
everywhere,
back
man.
into Raw and SmackDown, and I just don't sleep.
Sons of
I just
bitches.
don't
We had him on our fucking show before anybody else did. Am I right, Silky?
Word.
Yeah, see, that's we know what's going on.
The
Warren,
originators, the OGs.
Yes, and thank you, Kristen, for saying it's fun. I'm glad. John
Emphasis
Baez.
on old.
Yes, enough of your shit already. Thank you, thank you guys for joining us. Warren, it's always a pleasure, buddy. We'll do it again soon. Thanks so much for being with us, man.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's always a blast.
All right, Mr. Warren Hayes. Silky, anything else to get out there for the people before we say goodnight?
Yep. February 23rd, I'll be at the Elks Lodge for DZW, and I'd like to say happy birthday, you old bitch.
Okay, that's great. Enough of that shit. For the Benchmark, Silky Babe.
Yo.
Chris Bezak, thank you so much for being with us. We will see you Monday night following Monday Night Raw, 10 p.m. Central, right here on the Speez and the Benchmark Show. Good night, everybody.